They have posted who's your San Juan, Puerto Rico MVP. And these are the candidates: Paige Beckers, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. What? Ryan Howard. I can see Howard being in the mix here because her scoring has been lights out. Jackie Young, and then a bunch of other players down here. And all I can tell you is I don't know what happened.
In the span of just a few hours, what started as a comfortable lead for Caitlin Clark in the FIBA MVP fan vote completely flipped. We're not talking about a gradual shift in momentum. We're talking about thousands of votes appearing in minutes. And the internet has questions. This is the FIBA World Cup qualifying tournament happening right now in Puerto Rico. Team USA is dominating, and as we head into the final game of this round, FIBA opened up a fan vote for MVP. The candidates include Paige Beckers, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Ryan Howard, Jackie Young, and several other players competing in the tournament. Standard fan vote stuff, right? Except nothing about what happened next was standard.
Was running away with this joker. And then all of a sudden, this happened. I don't have any idea how Paige Beckers got this many votes this quickly. And by the way, this was actually a wider spread for a little while. But Caitlin Clark and her fans are catching her up right now. But this was a pretty wild.
Early this morning, Caitlin Clark was running away with this thing. The gap wasn't close. We're talking about a lead in the thousands. Fast forward just a few hours, and suddenly Paige Beckers surges ahead with what can only be described as an impossible voting pattern. One commenter claimed they witnessed 7,000 votes materialize for Paige in approximately 5 minutes. 7,000 in 5 minutes. Now, FIBA has a disclaimer on this poll stating that the fan vote is not an official statement from the organization, which essentially means they're washing their hands of any responsibility if things go sideways, and things have absolutely gone sideways.
Paige had 7,000 votes come in 5 minutes or something like that, and it's raising a lot of questions. People are raising, hey, what is going on? Suspect allegedly buying bots to help the Paige Beckers win the fan vote. Gino Auriemma, the Yukon Mafia, guys, we've talked about them. I mean, the agenda is once again.
The comment section on this poll has turned into a full-scale investigation. Fans are posting screenshots with timestamps showing the exact moment the vote totals became suspicious. The accusations flying around aren't subtle either. Bot armies, coordinated voting manipulation, the so-called Yukon Mafia, allegedly mobilizing to ensure their player takes the crown. Here's what makes this particularly problematic. You can vote on this poll over and over again. There's no limit, no verification system, no daily cap. Just click, vote, refresh, repeat. It's a system practically designed to be gamed, and someone appears to have taken full advantage.
And I'm like, okay, something's not right. So are we talking about bots? It's starting to look like bots are flooding the Paige Beckers situation. Somebody pointed out there's no way a 3,000 vote gap is surpassed in 15 minutes unless bots are involved. I mean, what is going on here?
Let's talk about the actual performance on the court, because that context matters here. Caitlin Clark is currently leading Team USA in points, assists, plus-minus, and efficiency during this tournament. She's been the engine driving this team through qualifying. Her numbers aren't just good, they're dominant. Meanwhile, Paige Beckers has played well, but we need to address the elephant in the room. How many Dallas Wings games sold out this season? Because that's Paige's WNBA team. The arena wasn't consistently packed. There were visible empty seats at multiple games throughout the year. So we're supposed to believe that a player whose WNBA team struggled to fill their home arena suddenly has a fan base large enough and motivated enough to generate thousands of votes in minutes. The math isn't mathing.
Bases are buying bot votes. They're accusing the Caitlin Clark fan base of buying bot votes. I just don't know that I get that. That I agree with that. This was 4 hours ago. You can see right there, Caitlin was leading, and then all hell broke loose. I mean, we're talking. Look at these Look at these amounts. 168,150.
The voting patterns show something even more revealing. Look at the ratio of pro-Caitlyn comments to pro-Paige comments in that thread. It's running about 15-1 in favor of Caitlyn. The organic engagement, the actual human beings typing out their thoughts and reactions, overwhelmingly support Clark. Yet somehow, the vote totals tell a completely different story. This isn't the first time we've seen this kind of discrepancy in WNBA fan voting. Remember the All-Star voting earlier this season? Similar accusations surfaced then about coordinated efforts to manipulate results. The difference is that FIBA's system is even more vulnerable because of the unlimited voting mechanism.
It looks fishy. It looks very, very fishy. By the way, I don't love that you can vote over and over and over again. Page fans, stop using bots. Actually vote. Right here, not going to lie, it's worthless to vote. Paige Becker fans are buying votes. She went up 7,000 votes.
Multiple fans in the comments are calling for FIBA to implement human verification and daily vote limits. That's basic security for any legitimate online poll in 2025. The fact that FIBA launched this vote without those protections either shows remarkable naivety or a complete indifference to the integrity of the results. And here's the thing about bot detection. If FIBA has a competent IT team, they absolutely can determine whether votes are being artificially inflated. They can track IP addresses, identify suspicious patterns, flag accounts that are voting at inhuman speeds. The technology exists. The question is whether they care enough to use it.
I mean, is there a way that they can get in there and find out if the votes are legit? If they've got a good IT team? Yes, absolutely. They could determine whether or not they were the vote is being artificially inflated. Never underestimate the agenda. Never underestimate the Yukon mob. We know how this goes. I mean, but we're talking about somebody, let's just keep it real.
Some defenders are claiming that Caitlyn Clark fans are also using bots, trying to create a both sides narrative. But the evidence doesn't support that. When Clark was leading early in the morning, the vote totals were growing at a normal, organic pace. The sudden, explosive surge only appeared for one candidate. That's not how legitimate voting behaves. There's also talk about a TikTok fandom organizing for Paige, which is certainly possible. TikTok fan armies can mobilize quickly and effectively, but even the most dedicated TikTok community can't explain vote totals jumping 7,000 in 5 minutes, unless we're talking about coordination that crosses the line into manipulation. Here's what makes this entire situation emblematic of a larger problem in women's basketball right now. We're in the middle of an unprecedented growth period for the WNBA. Caitlyn Clark's rookie season brought record television ratings, sold-out arenas across the league, and mainstream attention that women's basketball has never experienced at this level. The numbers are undeniable. Her impact on the sport's visibility and commercial success is measurable and significant. Yet at every turn, there seems to be resistance to acknowledging that reality. Whether it's media members downplaying her influence, league veterans questioning whether she deserves the attention, or voting systems that mysteriously produce results that don't align with actual fan engagement and arena attendance. The pattern is consistent. This FIBA vote is a microcosm of that dynamic. On the court, Clark is statistically dominating this tournament. In terms of organic fan engagement, the comment sections and social media discussions are overwhelmingly in her favor. But somehow, when it comes to the official vote total, a different story emerges. A story that conveniently aligns with a particular narrative about who should be celebrated and who shouldn't. Let's be clear about what's at stake here. This is a fan vote for a qualifying tournament MVP. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't affect playoff seeding or championship outcomes, but it matters because it's another data point in a larger conversation about credibility and fairness in how women's basketball recognizes excellence. When fans see voting patterns that defy logic, when they watch numbers change in ways that seem impossible without artificial inflation, it erodes trust, not just in FIBA's fan votes, but in awards voting, all-star selections, and any other system that's supposed to reflect merit and genuine fan support. The UConn Mafia reference that keeps appearing in these comments isn't just random trolling. It's pointing to a perception, fair or not, that there's an organized effort to ensure UConn-affiliated players receive recognition regardless of current performance. Gino Ariema built an incredible program at Connecticut. His legacy is secure, but when fans consistently see voting irregularities that benefit UConn players, it feeds a narrative that the fix is in. And maybe that's unfair to Paige Bueckers personally. She's an exceptional talent who's dealt with significant injuries and worked incredibly hard to get back on the court. She doesn't control what her fans do or don't do with online polls. But the optics here are terrible. When you're winning a fan vote despite lower arena attendance, despite fewer organic comments supporting you, despite statistical performance that doesn't match your opponent, it raises questions. FIBA could resolve this immediately. Pause the vote, audit the results, implement basic security measures like IP verification and vote limits, restart with a clean slate. But that disclaimer they posted suggests they won't. They've already absolved themselves of responsibility, which means they're content to let this play out however it plays out. Credibility be damned. The broader issue is that women's basketball is at a crossroads. The sport has never had more mainstream attention, more commercial opportunity, more potential for growth. But that growth requires trust. Fans need to believe that excellence is recognized fairly, that achievements are celebrated based on merit, that the systems in place to honor players have integrity. Every time something like this FIBA vote happens, it chips away at that trust. Every time the results don't match the observable reality, more fans check out. Not because they don't love the sport, but because they're tired of feeling like they're being gaslit about what they're actually seeing. Caitlin Clark will be fine regardless of how this fan vote ends. Her performance speaks for itself. She's leading Team USA through this tournament, and when they inevitably advance to the World Cup in September, she'll continue to be the focal point of the offense. No manipulated online poll changes that reality, but for FIBA, for the credibility of fan engagement in women's basketball,